This week, the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, released the first episode of her new podcast called Confessions of a Female Founder. And in it, she talks to Whitney, Wolfe. She's the CEO of the dating app Bumble, about juggling motherhood and careers. So, should you be able to take your kids to work? Do you think they should be more welcome in the workplace, Jane? If you were on that meeting and one of the executives and she's sitting there with a child in her lap, would you be happy about that?
Well, I think it depends what you do for a living, doesn't it? And whether it fits into your work. I mean, if the child's not disruptive, and I'm sure no one's going to say to Meghan, excuse me, we don't want your child, you know, whatever. And if that works for her, great. But for a lot of people, that won't work because their job... I mean, you know, if I'm being operated on by a heart surgeon, I don't want their toddler sitting on their lap while they're doing it. So, you know, obviously there's...
Very good analogy.
Yes. Obviously there are areas of work where that is not going to be acceptable for health and safety reasons or whatever. And, I mean, you know, I do think a good thing, because, like, back in the day when I was a single mum, I was very lucky I had my mum who helped me look after my daughter. But, you know, I worked full-time. I wasn't around that much during the day, so that was all great. Now maybe I might be able to get a bit more of a balance because times have changed, but I could not get more of a balance then. And I think, in a way, that's a good thing to have come out of COVID, is that people have suddenly gone, OK, we don't all need to be sitting in an office 24/7. You know, we can do stuff from home. That's going to be a lot better for women with children because it will make it more flexible. You know, and we talk about this a lot on this show.
Yeah,
and I still think there's a lack of flexibility to get women... working mothers back into the work.
So you have to help them get that. Creches, where are the creches?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think every business, if they can, should have some kind of creche. I agree with what Jane said. You know, I'm sure, for example, the example that Meghan is making there is that if her child, Lily, was disrupting the important meeting, I'm sure, because I know, for example, even just on a social call, not a work call, if I'm having a conversation with a friend who has rung me and they are asking me questions about something, and then you're in the middle of talking and then going, and what did you say you want, you little... It drives me mad, or the kid's crying or something. It would actually drive me crazy.
I just go, call me back.
Yeah.
But actually, we've talked a lot about it, and we've also talked a lot about... It's always women that they talk about.
Yeah.
You don't ever say to men, like, well, who's looking after your kids today? Yeah. And you had this when you went into the jungle.
Yeah.
People were asking, like, how can you go into the jungle and leave your daughter?
I know, yeah. I got a lot of comments about leaving my daughter, and luckily my husband was there, and I was like, it's OK sometimes to leave the child with the dad and let the dad dad. That is literally what I say. Yeah. But I feel like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, especially as moms. I grew up watching my mom work and actually study at the same time, and I think that I learned what hard work looked like.
So
I had
people
different examples.
Look
at him. Yeah, he had a great time. They love each other. I actually literally don't exist in this whole family. That is her man, and I'm just borrowing him from time to time. But I feel like even when I'm working, because I work as well full-time, it's always nice for her to see me do something, to be competitive, to be ambitious, but to know that mom is always coming back. Yeah. And when mom goes to work, it doesn't mean I love you any less. It means I'm working for you.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's interesting... It's interesting, Oti, when you say that you received a lot of judgment, but I would imagine that most of that would have been online press or social media.
You see, when
when I had Matty, who's 36 now, I would have been judged for the times that I was apart from him, but I wasn't because there was no social media.
Yeah.
And the one thing that Matty says to me, and, you know, believe me, I made some huge mistakes, which, you know, a lot of people know about. But he always said, Mum, one of the things is that I never, ever remember missing you because I was always with people who loved me.
Yeah.
So and that stayed with me forever. And as you say, they're confident boys. They've grown up with a mum and dad who both work and provided the life that we did for them.
And actually, your time in the jungle...
I slept.
You slept.
Yeah.
You obviously.
I think all moms should go to the jungle and sleep for 3 weeks. It was amazing.
It was interesting to see your transformation because obviously when you've had a baby, you sometimes lose yourself a bit. And you came out of that jungle, you were like, OK,
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
You sort of recalibrated a bit.
But we had
didn't you?
so many beautiful conversations about that because I do get a lot of comments online and social media. But Jane was so strong. You were like our jungle mom, and she's like, everyone is going to talk. Everyone is going to have opinion. You got to do what you do
Absolutely.
and just let
Do what works
them choke.
Let
That's
them
what she
choke.
said. Yeah,
Yeah,
let them choke.
exactly.
And we were like, yes, Jane, thank you.
We can't live our lives by other people's opinions. Well, certainly people that don't know us.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. What's that thing you say, Jane? What other people think of you is none
Is
of
that-
your business.
It's none of
Yeah.
my business.
None of your
Exactly.
business. Yeah, Jane's always got the best advice. She has. OK, well, from Meghan to her father-in-law, actually, congratulations are in order. King Charles and his wife, Queen Camilla, celebrate their 20th wedding anniversary today, marking the occasion with these new photographs. But their marriage and courtship has not been without its difficulties, as we know, and against all the odds, they are still together. They appear to be very happy, from what we could see. And some people are saying, Jane, you know, couple goals, are they now? Where, you know, Camilla was absolutely persona non grata for a long time, wasn't she? Are they now couple goals after 20 years?
Yeah, I mean, I think what links these two primarily, I mean, there's quite a few things, is humour. And I don't know if you've ever seen the clip. They were on a tour in Canada and there was an Inuit throat song they were listening to, and it involves two people just facing each other going like this.
That was the song?
That was the song, and they got the giggles. And you see the pair of them just go, and obviously they're thinking, should we be allowed to be giggling? And they just can't control it. And I thought that's why they're... marriage is strong. And I've seen them do that quite a lot at various things. And, yeah, they have that shared humour. And, you know, when I was royal correspondent, I think it was the Indonesia tour that Charles and Diana were on, and that was the point you could see their marriage was breaking down. And there was just this rigidity between them. And he and Camilla are obviously just... right for each other.
And of course, Camilla's your new busy mate now, isn't she? Yeah.
I have been labelled a hypocrite by one or two people online over the last couple of weeks. But yes, through a bond through Safe Lives, a domestic abuse charity that we're both sort of involved in, I did go to Karen's house and I did meet Camilla with Janet last week, and I thought she was lovely and very, very committed to the work and very nice person. And I have been critical in the past, as many of us were, as people who loved Diana, and it's a very, very, very sorry situation all round. I'm a huge supporter of Harry and Meghan, but I believe I can support them both. And I think to be married for 20 years against all the adversity is couple goals. You know, generally, I think a 20-year marriage, what I mean, not to the royal family.
And I think the secret of their marriage is that she keeps a separate house.
Yeah. Oh,
very good.
I was like, oh, that's not what I thought you were going to say.
She has kept a separate house. So at the times when he's a bit grumpy or whatever, she's like,
go home.
hi.
And if you can't keep a separate house, keep a separate snoring room so you can go off to that.
But you know Camilla quite well as well.
Yes, I've met her. She's a huge Dance and Strictly fan, and for, I mean, the few times we've had conversations, she loves dancing, and I've been married 13 years. I think it's important to also find who you are in that marriage and develop yourself as a person, so what you bring to the marriage actually adds to the connection. But yeah, she loves tap dancing, she loves the samba. I don't know when she does it, but she definitely loves it.
I didn't know she was into dancing.
Yeah, that's her hobby. I mean, she's a big dance and reading fan. But I think, just like you said, any couple coming together for 20 years is so important. But it's growing yourself as an individual, as a human being, that will add to the marriage.
And how do you, because you've been married 13 years.
Yeah, we both have been married.
How do you keep your own identity?
I ask him for a second house. No, I think for me, it's doing things that are, for me, that are really important. Work is something that I love. It doesn't feel like work when I do things that I love every single day and coming here. I remember watching you on tour, the Loose Women tour, and being like, that doesn't feel like work. It feels like 4 amazing women coming together, having conversations that we will all ordinarily have at the, you know, when we gossip with our friends over dinner. And that, for me, gives me a sense of being and to who I am. It's not what I do, but it's just lets me be OT. And I think going back to my husband, being like, we're doing separate things. He likes to know how I'm doing, and then I like to know how he's doing. I just find myself.
Do you dance
And
together?
the spa.
Do the two of you dance together?
All the time.
Yeah.
Honestly, it gets annoying. My daughter now goes, ugh. She's one. She's so sad. She goes, ugh. And then she goes, move away. That's my dad. Let me have it. That's it.
Jealousy's creeping in
I
there.
know.
Be her dancing
Honestly,
with us.
I will get a second house.